All right, Brookings Cubs fans, another steamy evening here at Bob Sheldon Field. Welcome in to another broadcast here on Saul's Media. This is a Thursday night with the Brookings Cubs. They are welcoming the Renner Monarchs to town. The Renner Monarchs, the state Class A champs from a year ago. So the defending Class A champs will be our visitor tonight. Welcome in. It is steamy. It is hot. It might be under 90 now that we've come to the 7:30 time of the day, but you can see our Brookings Cubs out there warming up, getting their final touches before they do some lineup cards on the field out there. I am Jason Salzman. This is another Saul's Media broadcast. Proud to bring you the Brookings Cubs all summer long. You can find it right here on this YouTube channel. Please subscribe. That costs you nothing. And we'll see what kind of fun we can have the rest of the summer. This is about the halfway point for our Brookings Cubs. On Monday night, they welcomed the Sioux Falls Flying Squirrels to town and got a run rule victory, 18-8. Moved our Brookings Cubs to 9-2 overall on the season. They are now 3-0 in Sioux Empire League play. This is another Sioux Empire League matchup tonight. And we'll see what our Brookings Cubs can do against the defending state champs, the Renner Monarchs. Our broadcast tonight, as always, brought to us by our exclusive presenter, Bankstar Financial. With locations in Volga, Brookings, and Elkton, Bankstar provides big-time business with a small-town feel. Looking to finance a home? Need a car loan? How's your retirement plan looking? Stop in today to chat with the local professionals. Bank on the bright side. Bankstar Financial, a proud sponsor of everything we do here on Saul's Media, and this summer, proud sponsors of the Brookings Cubs and all the action that these boys are going to bring to us all summer long. You know, a little town ball, a little amateur ball. These guys play at 7:30 at night. That's what makes it so easy for my schedule to fit into the Cubs schedule. I can get done with my work day, they get done with their work day, and then everyone hits the ballpark. It's fantastic. We're going to do this all summer long. It's going to be great. But Bankstar Financial, a proud sponsor for everything we do here on Saul's Media. I am the voice of the Sioux Valley Cossacks and was just looking for something to do during the summertime, and the Cubs fit right in. So they were more than happy to have me up in the press box up here. I've got Aaron Jornby to my right. He is in the other side of the window at the moment. Not part of the broadcast, but he is the general manager of the Brookings Cubs. He's the PA announcer. We're going to hand it over to him as soon as they get our umpires out there, exchanging lineup cards, going through rules and regulations, and then we'll do lineups on the field. We'll also do a Star Spangled Banner tonight, and then we'll be off and rolling with everything we're trying to do tonight. The lineups tonight brought to us by Bell Brands. Bell Brands Cheese. Bell Brands is my employer here in town. They're more than happy to help me out with all these as well. They were more than happy to sponsor Brookings Cubs at the same time. Thank you, Bell Brands. Bell Brands, the makers of the mini Baby Bells. That's the snack cheese of champions. Peel one today. Thank you, Bell Brands, for helping me out with everything I'm trying to do here. I'll go through the Monarchs lineup right now, and then once we get back after the Star Spangled Banner, we'll probably do the Brookings Cubs lineup. The leadoff hitter for Renner tonight, number 2, Corey Vasquez. He'll be at second base. Batting second, number 12, Chaz Palmer. He'll be in center field. Batting third, Troy Lanier, number 18. He'll be at first base. Batting cleanup for the Monarchs, number 30, David Burkhart. He'll be in right field. Batting fifth, number 6, Adam Durfee. He'll be at third base. Batting sixth, number 7, Aiden Ladd. He'll be in left. Batting seventh, number 21, Maddox Boggs. He'll be at shortstop. Batting eighth, number 9, Cole Kramer. He'll be our pitcher tonight for the Monarchs. And in the 9 spot, number 0, Nick Bartels. He'll be the catcher for the Renner Monarchs. Renner Monarchs are coached by David Burkhart. And I think we're going to hand this over to our PA announcer. So Aaron Jornby is going to take over from here, and we'll go through the lineups on the field, Star Spangled Banner, and then be right back at us on a steamy night at Bob Sheldon Field. Don't go anywhere, Cubs fans. Brookings baseball coming up next.
Good evening and welcome to the Bears Den at Bob Sheldon Field for South Dakota Super Pirate League Amateur Baseball. Tonight, the Brookings Cubs welcome the Renner Monarchs. Let's be starting lineup for both teams. First for Renner. Leading off playing second base, number 2, Corey Vasquez. Batting second, number 12, the center fielder, Chad Palmer. Batting third, the first baseman, number 18, Tony Lanier. Batting fourth, number 30, the right fielder, David Borkart. Batting fifth, at third base, number 6, Adam Durfee. Batting sixth, number 7, the left fielder, Aiden Ladd. Batting seventh, number 21, the shortstop, Maddox Baggs. Batting eighth, number 9, doing the pitching, Cole Kramer. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 0, Nick Barlow. And now starting right for the Cubs, they will go off and play shortstop, number 25, Isaac Bonner. Batting second, number 44, the center fielder, Rex Zielinski. Batting third, number 14, third baseman, Parker Whitehart. Batting fourth, in right field, number 7, Miles Reese. Batting fifth, doing the catching, number 12, Noah Buss. Batting sixth, at first base, number 8, Justin Koppel. Batting seventh, number 15, designated hitter Arlen Peters. Batting eighth, the left fielder number 4, Tucker Wookie. Batting ninth, at second base, number 1, Nolan Miles. And pitching for the Cubs, number 3, Jack Anderson. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and table or take a seat for the flag located in left field. Active duty or retired military who are in uniform may salute the flag. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
All right, Cubs fans, with that, we are about underway for our Brookings Cubs lineup tonight, brought to us by Bell Brands, the makers of the Mini Baby Bells, the snack cheese of champions. Batting in the leadoff spot for our Brookings Cubs, number 25, Isaac Bonner. He'll be at shortstop. Batting second, number 44, Rhett Zielinski. He is also the manager of our Brookings Cubs. He'll be in center field tonight. Batting third, number 14, Parker Winghart. He'll be at third base. Batting cleanup, number 7, Miles Reese. He'll be in right field tonight. Batting fifth, number 12, Noah Buss. He'll be the catcher. Batting sixth, number 8, Justin Koppel. He'll be at first base. Batting seventh, number 15, Arlen Peters will be a designated hitter tonight. Batting eighth, number 4, Tucker Wookie. He'll be in left field. And batting ninth, number 1, Nolan Miles. He'll be at second base tonight. Our pitcher, number 3, Jake Ammon. He'll be firing it from the mound. You can see him warming up right now on the hill. Should be a fun night. This is a 9-2 season so far for the Brookings Cubs. They're very excited about where they're at right now, where they could be in about a month. We'll get through the month of July, and then we'll fire up some playoffs and see how far this Brookings Cubs team can go. The Renner Monarchs just ran the gauntlet last year to win the Class A state championship. Brookings Cubs trying to do a similar gauntlet, but they have not won a title here since 2002, I believe is what AJ told me. So it's been a little bit for the Brookings Cubs as far as winning a title. They have gotten to a title game, just haven't pulled off the victory. And the Renner Monarchs, fresh off of a Class A victory just last season. So, should be a fun one tonight. Seems like our umpires are about ready to put our everything together. Little stumble right there by Jake Ammon on the mound. He seems okay. Everything's fine, but we're about to fire up. Our umpire is still boogieing back and forth, trying to, I don't know, keep water tonight, I would imagine. It's steamy out here. My car said 89 when I pulled in the parking lot. I mean, obviously it'll cool down once the sun goes down as well, but that is steamy, and prepare yourselves, everybody. It is going to be mid-90s all weekend long around here. So it's going to be a steamy weekend, and we've certainly got a hot, humid evening here at Bob Sheldon Field for our Brookings Cubs. The Cubs kind of in different unis tonight. This is the dark blues with the cursive Brookings across the top. But it is a weather-related type of jersey, kind of like the Nike Performance shirts that you can buy, well, basically anywhere as far as the sports stores go, but to try to keep it cool, try to keep it off. And that first pitch is going to miss. Jake Ammon on the mound for the Cubs. He gets a foul ball there. That foul ball is going to be over to the right side, just past the Cubs dugout. So a 1-1 pitch to Corey Vasquez of the Renner Monarchs. Renner in the black jerseys with the neon green trim, and then they have kind of the evergreen green socks and stripes on the pants. So some cool looking unis, I guess, for the Renner Monarchs. As far as trying to tell who's straight back 2-2 now. As far as trying to tell who's in the field and who's not, you'll just kind of have to follow along here. The Renner is going to be the top half of the innings. That is the visiting team. Our Cubs do have the light blue brim of the hats. So if that helps you out, the C on the hats as well. I don't know if you can see that on the video, but I'll try my best to keep us as informed as I can. That's a full count now to Corey Vasquez. Vasquez, the second baseman for the Renner Monarchs. Fights the count to full. Ammon fires. And we'll get another foul ball that is over the right side of the grandstand. Kids here tonight chasing down those foul balls. If you bring those back, I believe you get 50 cents at the concession stand. So I'm sure some kids will be running things down tonight, as always. Full count still, nobody out. Leadoff hitter to start our ball game. Jake Ammon gets his sign. Now he'll fire. Another foul ball straight into the netting behind home plate. On deck, Banner helping out with retrieving a foul ball there. That's that's town ball. This is not pros, man. It's all hands on deck. Everybody helps. That ball just a bit outside, and that'll be a leadoff walk for the Renner Monarchs. Vasquez reaches first, and that'll bring up Chaz Palmer, the second hitter, number 12. He is the center fielder for the Renner Monarchs. Donning the long hair, sticking out the back of the batting helmet. Laying down a bunt. Ammon's going to have to come off the mound to the left side, picks it up, fires too late. That's going to be an infield hit for Palmer. And now the Renner Monarchs will have runners on first and second to start their game. So a bunt single. That'll bring up the third hitter in the lineup for Renner. This is number 18, Troy Lanier, the first baseman. Looks like a good-sized kid. I say kid because, well, I mean, they're still baseball players, so they're playing a kid's game. Doesn't matter what age you are, they're still kids doing it. Ammon will fire this and gets a swinging strike. 2 men on for Renner to start their first inning. Jake Ammon just trying to settle in here. Big fastball there. Gets at 0-2 of the 3-hitter. This is Troy Lanier. The wind officially blowing in from right field tonight. South wind bringing us this warm air. Ooh, on the outside corner, called third strike. And adamant about it. It's a nice call by the umpire there. So a strikeout brings us out number 1, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter. This is number 30, David Burkhardt. He's the right fielder, also a lefty. Renner still sitting with runners on first and second tonight to start their ball game. But a big strikeout by Ammon. I'll try to follow that up. It's either low or outside, but ball nonetheless. David Burkhardt for the Renner Monarchs at the plate. Looks like another good-sized kid. Renner bringing some size with their lineup. Jake Ammon delivers. That's a strike on the inside corner. Gotta love the umpires that are adamant about what they do. Swing and a miss there. A foul tip, actually. But that brings a 1-2 count now. With 1 out and 2 men on for Renner. David Burkhardt at the plate. There is going to be a line drive right center field. That is going to be a gapper. That's going to score a run, possibly 2 here. Burkhardt rolling into second base. That's a double, and it's going to be 2-run double as both the runners on base come around to score. A great hit by Burkhardt, and Renner strikes first with a 1-out double. Vasquez scores. Palmer comes all the way around, and Burkhardt is going to have 2 RBI on the double with 1 out, and that'll bring up the 5th hitter of the lineup, Adam Durfee. Number 6, he is the third baseman, but Renner strikes first tonight, taking an early 2-0 lead here in the top of the first. Durfee ducks out of the way of that one. I'll try to bring you some national sports news as we go through our broadcast tonight. I know it is, I believe, Game 6 NBA Finals, so we'll try to get an update on that. That should start about 7:30 as well. Some fun with the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun just, a couple nights ago now. Caitlin Clark getting... There's a big strike on the inside corner. Caitlin Clark getting defended. What's the word? Aggressively? Vigorously, perhaps? So the Fever and Sun got into not really a melee, but it could have been a melee. No punches thrown or anything like that. Sophie Cunningham had to be the enforcer after Caitlin Clark was basically punched in the face by a slap that was trying to get at the ball, but it went right to her nose. Caitlin Clark took offense to that and then got knocked to the floor. So Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark's teammate, had to be the enforcer after that. But some fireworks a couple nights ago. That last pitch fouled off. Still a 1-2 count. That is going to be popped up center field. Rhett Zielinski moving in. Also second baseman moving out. And it will be caught by Nolan Miles for out number 2. That is just an F for out number 2. And that'll bring the 6th hitter in lineup to the plate. Aiden Ladd, number 7. He's in left field tonight. David Burkhardt still sitting on second base. But now 2 outs for Jake Ammon. trying to get out of this inning just with 2 runs coming across rather than more than that. We now have a Stanley Cup champion, as that was, I believe, 2 nights ago as well. Florida Panthers go back-to-back in the Stanley Cup. It's actually a 3rd year in a row that they've been in the finals, but now they've taken the last 2. You start to think about some of the success, I can't say that word apparently, that's happening down in Florida with the Panthers, with the Lightning. Boy, it's someone on Twitter was trying to make the case that it is the state of hockey now, but kind of a stretch there. But the Florida Panthers have gone back-to-back Stanley Cup champs. Ground ball right side. Nolan Miles off the end of his glove and out. Keeps it in front of him. That'll keep runners at first and third. I believe our scorekeeper, AJ, right next to me, is going to call that an error. And he does. So, first and third now. Clear that out. 2 out still, and that'll bring up a 7-hitter lineup. This is Maddox Boggs, number 21. He's the shortstop for Renner. Runners on first and third now. We'll get into other Stanley Cup news as we roll through, including the last time a Canadian team actually won the Stanley Cup. I'll have that info for you later. Try to give you kind of a preview of what's going to be happening with the Minnesota Lynx in the WNBA, as they got a big win over their, I think that was 2 nights ago as well. The Lynx getting a win and advancing into the Commissioner's Cup, something similar that the NBA does of having an in-season tournament. Lynx ended up winning the Commissioner's Cup last season with a win over the New York Liberty in New York. This time they'll host, so we'll get into the rest of those details as we go through the broadcast tonight. We got to talk about something, we got a good 2 hours out here, so I'm trying to keep you listening as long as I can, tuned in as long as I can. The Cubs will do the rest, but I'll try and entertain. Another throw over to first. Still safe there. So runners on first and third. Must be a threat to steal on first, but usually, I've seen it in women's softball. I've seen it in the younger levels of baseball. Once you have first and third, man, it is time to steal second. And that could be the case here as well. So Jake Ammon just trying to keep that runner on first base there as long as we can. There's a pop-up straight center field. Rhett Zielinski is going to be underneath that, and that'll be out number 3. That'll take care of the first inning. But for the Renner Monarchs, 1, 2 hits, a walk, an error, and they score 2, leave 2. So we move to the bottom of the first. Let me clear out some things on my scoreboard here, as I am my engineer, I am my announcer. I do all of these things to try to keep you up to date with what's going on. The Cubs come to bat in the bottom of the first with Isaac Bonner, Rhett Zielinski, and Parker Winghart, the 1-2-3 hitters, but it is a 2-0 lead for the Renner Monarchs. What we can do is thank our first inning sponsor. That is GP Auto, taking care of all your car repair needs, oil changes, engine repair, tire replacement. Grant and Friends will get you back on the road. Located on the east side of Brookings by Daktronics. Call and schedule your car appointment today. Thank you, GP Auto, for being a proud sponsor of everything we do here on Saul's Media, including what I do in the school year, which is be the voice of the Sioux Valley Cossacks. GP Auto, a big part of that. Grant had no problems being a part of the Brookings Cubs through the summertime as well. A lot of fun out here. Thank you, GP Auto, for being a sponsor. We'll keep you going on everything we're doing. Warming up for the Renner Monarchs, that is Cole Kramer, the pitcher for the Monarchs. Looks like a fairly big kid himself. Suppose I can find... I did not get a record of the Renner Monarchs to start, but I think I can find it quickly for me. Or for us. How's that for us? Let's do 605 Sports. They do a great job of keeping everyone up to date with what's going on with amateur baseball across South Dakota all summer long. A lot of game days. I thought we had a story. Rankings. How's that? There we go. Let's do that. This is amateur baseball rankings across South Dakota. Isaac Bonner, our leadoff hitter, number 25. Shortstop tonight. And he will start with a 1-0 count. Isaac Bonner. Not part of the fun on Tuesday, or Monday, when the Sioux Falls Flying Squirrels were in town, but in the lineup tonight. Let me see here. Big strike call there. Not sure who our umpire is, but he's adamant. In Class A, these are the rankings that came out just 2 days ago as far as news across South Dakota. 605 Sports on Twitter. There's a big shot, left corner, and that's fair. One bounce to the fence. Isaac Bonner is going to start us up with a double. Looking at 3, but he'll stop at second base. So it is a lead-off double for Isaac Bonner, and the Cubs quickly in business here in the bottom of the first. Big shot there, right down the left field corner. One bounce to the 320 sign down there. That'll bring up the center fielder, Rhett Zielinski, the manager, number 44, with a runner on second base. Class A standings, the Harrisburg Woodies, who are new or returning to amateur baseball. How's that? They are ranked number 1 in Class A. The Renner Monarchs at number 2, and our Brookings Cubs at 3. The Sioux Falls Flying Squirrels come in at 5. Others receiving votes were the Yankton Lakers, the Aberdeen Circus, and the Sioux Falls Brewers. That pass ball by Renner, the catcher there, is Nick Bartles. That allows Isaac Bonner to move over to third, and it'll be a 2-0 count for Rhett Zielinski. Now that I'm through all my news here. Since I have that story open, I'll give you some of the Class B action and their standings, or rankings, I guess I should say, on this story. That pitch outside, it's going to be 3-0 to Rhett Zielinski now. We're going to wait and see what Rhett does here, and then give you the Class B rankings in amateur baseball across South Dakota. That pitch too high. 4-pitch walk to Rhett Zielinski, and now the Cubs will have runners at first and third. With the 3-hitter in the lineup, number 14, Parker Winghart, coming to the plate. Parker had a decent night on Monday. Single and a walk, scored 2 runs. A couple of ground outs, a fly out, but 2 for 4 on his night. Kramer's going to start with a strike against Winghart. 0-2 now as that hits the outside corner. Hoping you can hear that umpire. Adjusting my sound levels a little bit so you can hear the adamant. Strike calls. That's inside. 1-2 now to Winghart. Big lefty for the Cubs. Batting third tonight. Runner goes. Swung on to shortstop. They are going to... No, it's called safe at first base, so Winghart's going to have an infield base hit. It'll score a run, and the Cubs get on the board as well. Bouncer to shortstop. It allowed Isaac Bonner to come in. Tried to play at first base. Zielinski was on the move on the pitch, and Parker Winghart will have an infield single, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter to the plate. Do some cleaning up there. There we go. With nobody out, Miles Reese comes to the plate, number 7. He's in right field tonight, but still 2 runners on, 1 already in, and nobody out yet. Was going to call it a strike and then decided not to. Was halfway to calling it a strike and then shook himself off, was the umpire there. So 1-0. That is tapped foul over the Cubs dugout. 1-1 now. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first, but it's 2-1 now. After the infield single by Winghart. Scores Isaac Bonner from third. That pitch inside, 2-1 now. Trying to get to those Class B rankings. Maybe we'll save that for in between innings here. Kramer delivers. That is lifted. Foul. A couple of Monarchs running after it, including the catcher. Bartles will make a tough catch right in front of the Cubs dugout. Throw up to second base to get Red Zielinski. He slides back in safely. But a nice grab by Bartles, Nick Bartles, to get out number one against Miles Reese, and the pop-up right in front of the Cubs dugout. Call that an F2. Don't get to say that very often. And that'll bring up our catcher for the Brookings Cubs, Noah Buss. You can hear some sirens going past 8th Street South. Noah Buss is going to tap that off his leg. Foul ball as it hit him in the batter's box. So just a foul ball there. So still runners on first and second. Noah Buss now at the plate, the catcher for the Brookings Cubs. One out now after the foul pop-up by Miles Reese. Noah, big left-handed hitter himself. Opportunity here with 2 men on. There's the line drive, right center field. That'll drop. Rhett Zielinski's going to round third. He'll come in to score. And Winghart is going to try to get to third, and he will slide in safely there. It is a RBI single for Noah Buss. First and third now, clear that out. 1 out. Zielinski comes in to score. Winghart slides into third. Noah Buss, the RBI single. Cubs tied up at 2. That'll bring in the number 6 hitter in the lineup, number 8, Justin Koffel, the first baseman. Runners on the corners. Good job of hitting there by Noah Buss. Good line drive to right field. Snap throw down to first. Noah Buss gets back in. But we're calling that ball 1, apparently. Okay. Not sure what the hand signal was there. That's lifted to the right side. Right fielder with a long run. He'll not make the catch. Goes right off his glove and drops. That's going to be E9. Another run coming in. It's 3-2 Cubs. Cubs take advantage of the error. Now runners on first and second. As Parker Winghart is going to come in to score. Noah Buss moves up to second base. And Koffel reached first base on an E9. As that went right off the webbing of, it's David Burkhart out there. Went right off the webbing of his glove and hit the turf. So the error there allows the Cubs to score the third run of their bottom of the first. And now the designated hitter comes to the plate. Arlen Peters. Good answer in the bottom of the first here by the Cubs. Getting down 2-0 early. Bring 3 of their own now. Trying to add to it. Ground ball, left side. Third baseman got a handle on it, but it come out of the glove and couldn't make the throw there. So that goes off the glove of Adam Durfee and will allow the bases to be loaded now. Clear that out. So with a 3-2 lead is Noah Buss going to third. Koffel goes to second. Arlen Peters with the infield single. And number 8 hitter in lineup. This is number 4, Tucker Wookie, left fielder tonight. Popped up second base. That's Corey Vasquez, and he's called off by Troy Lanier. And that'll just be a pop-up to first base then. So an F3 for the second out. Still bases loaded for the 9-hitter in the lineup. Number 1, Nolan Miles, the second baseman for the Cubs. Still plenty of opportunities out there. Bases are juiced here in the Bears' den. It's fouled straight back. 0-1. Just misses inside. 1-1 to Nolan Miles. 2 outs now. Bases are loaded for our Cubs. Will be a strong shot left side, just wide though, so foul ball, making it 1-2. Nolan Miles just turned on it. Too high there. 2-2 now. Nolan Miles. Second baseman for our Cubs tonight. Holds off on that inside, and it'll be a full count. So runners will be on the move. Full count with 2 outs. Bases juiced. Nolan Miles just trying to make contact here. Drive it somewhere. He will pop it up left side. That's in left field. Tough to in the sunshine there, but it'll be caught. That is Aiden Ladd with the catch, and that's going to end the bottom of the first. But the Cubs get on the board to take a lead 3-2 as we move to the top of the second inning for the Renner Monarchs. But 3 runs come across. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits for the Cubs. 1 error, 1 walk. There is 3 left on. But the Cubs bring 9 to the plate. So it'll be top of the order when the Cubs come back in the bottom of the second. But before we do that, it is going to be the Renner Monarchs bringing the 8, 9, and then top of the order themselves. Cole Kramer, the pitcher. Nick Bartles, the catcher. And then top of the order will be Corey Vasquez as they start their second inning. Now that we have a moment, this is what the Class B rankings are looking like in South Dakota Amateur Baseball. Del Rapids PBR is the number 1 ranked team in South Dakota, Class B. Number 2, Canova Gang. Number 3, the Del Rapids Mudcats. Number 4, the Winter Cologne Pheasants. And there's a tie at 5th place. The Humboldt Hartford Gamecocks and Tabor Bluebirds come in at number 5. The Castlewood Ravens come in at 7. The Redfield Dairy Queen, they come in at 8. And the Platte Killer Tomatoes come in at number 9. And then there's a tie at 10 as well. The Millbank Fire Chiefs and Alexandria Angels come in tied for 10th in Class B, South Dakota Amateur Baseball. Other teams receiving votes in Class B, that's Larchwood, Iowa. They are the Diamonds. The Garrettson Blue Jays, and the Mount Vernon Mustangs. And that's Class B rankings as far as South Dakota Amateur Baseball goes. That comes out every Tuesday. And if you follow 605 Sports on Facebook, on Twitter, or just go to their website, that's 605sports.com, Ryan Deal does a fantastic job of not only covering amateur baseball in the summertime, but high school, every sport through the school year. Ryan Deal does a great job of that. He had a job with the Aberdeen News, whatever the newspaper is up in Aberdeen. He was working for those guys, and then seeing the newspaper industry, maybe not collapsing is the word, but changing. How's that? The newspaper industry was changing, and he decided to go off on his own. Started 605 Sports and has never looked back. Still does a great job of covering high school sports in the middle of the state, and is a big fan of amateur baseball through the summertime. So 605sports.com, you can see all the news there. Second inning now for the Renner Monarchs here in the top of the second. This is Cole Kramer, the pitcher, and he's going to get ahead in the count. 2-0. Get my scoreboard back here. Three and out now to Cole Kramer, the pitcher for the Renner Monarchs. Renner started with 2 runs in the top of the first. Cubs answer, but 3 of their own, and there's a big strike there. 3-1 now. Jake Ammon battling with his opposing pitcher here. It'll be a line drive, right field. Good hit by Cole Kramer. Handled easily by our right fielder, Miles Reese, and thrown back in, but it's a leadoff single here in the second for Cole Kramer, the pitcher. That'll bring up the 9-hitter in the lineup. This will be Nick Bartles, the catcher for the the Renner Monarchs. Nick Bartles, the catcher, a left-handed hitting catcher. Hot shot towards the Renner dugout. Bounced off the front fence, so everyone's okay there, but it'll be an 0-1 count for Bartles. Tapper to short. Only play is to throw it over to first. So that is Isaac Bonner with the play there. Bartles will get the 6-3 ground out. That's 1 out, but Kramer moves up to second base on that, as there just was not a play to make. Couldn't turn the double play. It was a slow roller. So Bonner throws over to first, gets 1 out, and that'll bring up the top of the order. This is Corey Vasquez, second baseman for the Monarchs. 1 out and a man on second. I'm going to laugh at that all night. Big strike call by our umpire. Nice job on that. Gotta love the excitement. Popped up, right field. Brought in, and it was shallow enough where Kramer on second base couldn't advance to anything. So nice job by Miles Reese out in right field to get the out and keep the runner at second. So now with 2 outs here in the the top of the second inning. The 2-hitter in lineup for the Monarchs, Chaz Palmer, the center fielder, with the flowing mane coming out the back of the helmet there. Outside on that, 1-0. Jake Ammon pitching well so far after allowing those 2 runs in the top of the first. Kind of settled in here. Pitching well. There's going to be a line drive, right field. That'll bounce right in front of the line. That is going to be a double for Chaz, and he will slide into second base safely, and run is going to score. So the Renner Monarchs are going to tie it at 3 with Cole Kramer coming all the way around. And now the runner will stay at second base with the Chaz Palmer double, the RBI double. And that'll bring the 3rd hitter to line up for the Monarchs to the plate, Troy Lanier, number 18. He is the first baseman for the Monarchs. But a tie ball game now. Hammond misses on the first. 1-0. Swing and a miss on that. Big cut. 1-1 to Lanier. 2-1 now. Ammon gets his sign. Takes a breath, and now he'll deliver. Just low on that. A ball gets just far enough away down to third, and he will slide underneath the tag at third base. No Bus had a hard time getting a handle on that, and in that confusion, that allowed Palmer to move over to third. So the runner advances. It was a ball, so it's a 3-1 count with 2 outs now, but Palmer sitting at third base. Troy Lanier now with a 3-1 count. Big swing and a miss again. That'll fill it. 3-2, 2 outs. Hammond gets his sign. He'll deliver. Too high on that, and that's going to be a walk to Lanier. Good battle, but we lost him on the base on balls. Renner's now going to have runners at first and third with the cleanup hitter coming to the plate, David Burkhardt. Big lefty. Lanier, I don't think is a threat to steal. That's a pretty big kid. But it's possible. Ammon will start with the ball here, 1-0. To David Burkhardt, the right fielder for Renner. Big strike there, 1-1. Throw it at first. Keeping Lanier honest at least. He slides back in safely on the pickoff try. Still a 1-1 count for David Burkhardt. That ball misses outside. 2-1. It is warm, but still a beautiful evening here at Bob Sheldon Field. There's a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. Good crowd here as well. Seeing some kids hanging out in the stands. The Little League fields to our southwest, full of baseball players tonight. But a good crowd here in the grandstand as well. So good job, Brookings, on supporting baseball here in the summertime. That pitch just outside. No throw down to second base as Lanier will get the steal, I guess, there, if you want to call that a steal. Could be runner indifference, too, or something. So now a full count, 2 outs to David Burkhardt, the big left-handed hitter, cleanup hitter for Renner. That will miss inside. The check swing holds. The appeal still safe is the call, and the bases are going to be loaded up with 2 outs now. The Burkhardt walk, and that'll bring Adam Durfee, the third baseman, to the plate.
Third baseman number 6, Adam Durfee.
Ammon just trying to pitch out of this now. Game's tied at 3. Ammon's just trying to keep it there. Misses on the first pitch. 1-0. Big swing and a miss. 1-1. No, they're swinging a miss. 1-2 now. Ammon can get out of it right here. Leave 3 runners stranded. That's the plan anyway. Keep this game tied at 3. Give your bats another try at it. Check swing. It goes too far correctly. Yes, and we'll get the tap of home plate, and that'll do it. Yes. So that ends a threat. For the Renner Monarchs. That's a strikeout to end it, so we'll end it there. 1, 2 hits, 2 walks right there. The score 1 to tie it. Leave 3 runners on as we move to the bottom of the second now for the Brookings Cubs. Cubs sent 9 batters to the plate, so they will start over with the top of the order with Bonner, Zielinski, and Winghart coming to the plate. Our second inning brought to us by Brookings Vision Center, another proud sponsor of Cubs baseball and the Sauls Media broadcasts. Another business that had no problem being a sponsor of everything we're doing here with Sauls Media. I had a great experience with Brookings Vision Center about a month ago. I was due for an eye test. We proved that my glasses could use an update, and I do have, vision insurance with my job at Bell Brands, so we were able to use that. Get some safety glasses as well, just an update on my eyeballs, which is fantastic. The customer service at Brookings Vision Center, second to none. So if you and your family need help with your vision, head on out to Brookings Vision Center, man. Just a fantastic experience out there. So thank you to Brookings Vision Center for helping me out and now helping out the little Cubs baseball through the summertime. They're on 20th Street South, near Main Avenue South. But Brookings Vision Center, just a fantastic spot out there, man. I love the help, I love the service, and I love my glasses. So thank you for that. Cubs move to the bottom of the second inning. It is a 3-3 tie as Jake Ammon was able to at least try to pitch out of that with bases loaded, not allow any more runners to come across. So now the Renner Monarchs with Cole Kramer on the mound. That's Isaac Bonner swinging at the first pitch. Ground ball to second base, and that's how that will go. A 4-3 putout to begin the bottom of the second inning. That play made by Corey Vasquez for the Monarchs. So now Rhett Zielinski will come to the plate with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. We're tied at 3. In between innings, I'll give you an update on what's happening with the NBA Finals. Game 6 tonight in Indianapolis, I believe. Halliburton was questionable about whether he was going to be able to go tonight. I think he's got a quad strain. That's what I want to say. But we'll check that out in between innings and give you an update on what the NBA Finals are doing tonight. 2-0 to Zielinski with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Big swing by Rhett. 2-1. Tapper, left side, shortstop, tough play. Rhett's gonna beat it out. Infield single, Rhett Zielinski showing off the wheels. Maddox Boggs tried to make that, but a short hop as it was bouncing towards him. That was the last straw, and the throw over not in time to get Rhett Zielinski. So a 1-out infield single, and that'll bring the third hitter in lineup, number 14, Parker Winghart, to the plate. Parker with a double in the first inning and scored. Sorry, a single in the first inning and scored. Looks at strike 1. Takes an offering and an outside pitch. It was tapped, but it'll be 0-2 for Winghart. That is lifted left side. Long run for the left fielder, but he will make it on the left field line out there. That is a play by Aiden Ladd getting underneath that. So we'll have out number 2 now after the fly out to left field. And the cleanup hitter coming to the plate, Miles Reese, the Cubs right fielder. Brett Zielinski still on first base, but now 2 outs for the Cubs. Miles Reese had a pop-up that was caught by the catcher, Nick Bartles, right in front of the Cubs dugout in the first inning. It's a long run for him, threw out his mitt, and it just happened to pop in there, so a nice play by the catcher. That pitch inside. 1-0. Outside on that, 2-0. Zielinski goes just inside the third base line. Fair ball. Zielinski's rounding third. He's going to try to score. The throw home is off the mark. Zielinski head first slide, and he's in. And the Cubs take a 4-3 lead on the double by Miles Reese. Zielinski was moving on the pitch, and Miles Reese took advantage of that, sent a nice hard grounder down the third base line just inside the bag. So the double for Reese allows Zielinski to score, who was moving on the pitch. And that'll bring up the catcher for the Cubs, number 12, Noah Buss. Let me do that. Let me do that. 4-3 now, a lead for our Cubs. Noah Buss pops that up. Center field. Chaz Palmer underneath it, eyeballing, and he will come out of his glove, and E8 is going to allow another run to come in. That throw home airmailed into the backstop as Chaz Palmer makes an error out in center, and another run comes across. So that allows Miles Reese to score on the error. Noah Buss ends up at second base on the E8. So the Cubs get a gift, and that'll bring Justin Koffel to the plate, the first baseman for the Cubs. He looks at the first pitch, so a 1-0 count for Justin Koffel. Just a lazy fly ball for Chaz Palmer out in center field, and it hit his glove and came right out. Inside on that, 2-0 to Koffel. Three and 0. Koffel with an opportunity here. Cole Kramer, the pitcher for Renner. Battling. And he will get the strike call there. 3-1 to Koffel. Kramer kind of smiling on the mound. Outside, and that a walk to Koffel. So runners on first and second now with 2 outs. And that'll bring the 7-hitter lineup to the plate. Arlen Peters, the designated hitter. Peters will bat with 2 men on and 2 out. Peters with a single in the first inning. And that hits him. So that'll load up the bases. Peters hit by pitch. Buss to third, Koffel to second, Peters to first on the hit by pitch, and that'll bring up the 8-hitter in the lineup to the plate, Tucker Wookie, number 4. He is our left fielder tonight. Newly named SDSU men's basketball assistant coach. Tucker with an opportunity here. Bases juiced. That'll be low to start, 1-0. Juno, as that pitch was low as well. Curveball misses, 3-0. Kramer still smiling on the mound. Now we'll take a minute to try to collect himself. Not sure where he can get a pitch to get a strike at the moment. And he'll miss low. Catcher wondering where that was as well. But that'll walk in a run. This is all due to the 2-out error from Chaz Palmer in center field. Noah Buss comes in to score. Koffel to third. Arlen Peters to second. And the walk by Wookie will keep the bases loaded. And now the 9-hitter in the lineup. Number 1, Nolan Miles, our second baseman, will hit with 2 outs and bases still loaded. Bartles and Kramer having a conversation down the mound. Kramer's not sure where the strike zone is anymore, and Bartles even wondered where that last pitch was as it walked Wookie. So now they'll reset. Kramer get a curveball over in the outside corner for strike 1. Foul back. That'll go over the grandstand to my right. 0-2 for Nolan Miles. Tapped, right side, just over first base, and just foul. Only missed that by about 2 feet. That would have scored at least 2 there. As the runners were wheeling on that, but we'll come back to the batter's box. Nolan Miles. An 0-2 count. 2 out. That'll be high and outside. 1-2 now for Miles. That'll bounce. 2-2. Bases loaded. 2 outs for the Cubs here. Tapped to the backstop. Foul. Still a 2-2 count. Cubs brought in 3 in the first inning, have added 3 here in the second inning. It'll be tapped foul as well. Still 2-2 with 2 outs. Bases loaded. Nolan Miles at the plate. Good eye there. Throw down to third base to try to get Koffel. He slides back in safely. But the count's full. With the count full and 2 outs, runners are going to be on the move. And that'll be inside pitch, another walk, as Koffel will trot home. Peters now to third, Wookie to second. Nolan Miles walks, and the Cubs take a 7-3 lead. Bases still loaded here in the bottom of the second. And this will be the 10th hitter to come to the plate here in the second inning. Isaac Bonner now with his second at bat of the inning. Swing and a miss on first pitch, so an 0-1 count. Snap throw down to second. That actually hit. It's Tucker Wookie out there. So since it hit Wookie, I mean, he wasn't interfering with anything. They'll keep him at second base. Snap throw down to second. Risky move, but it works out for the Monarchs. Inside, ball gets away from Bartles. Not far enough, though. It'll just be a 2-1 count for Isaac Bonner. Bonner's got a double and a ground out so far, and this is his second bat of the second inning. Bonner now with the bases juiced. Inside on that, 3-1. Renner pitcher Cole Kramer having a problem finding the strike zone in the second inning. Kramer fires. Bonner swings and misses, and that'll fill the count. 3-2 once again with the bases loaded. Too high. Another walk. Kramer not happy about it. Arlen Peters will come in on the bases loaded walk. Score is now 8-3. Wookie to third. Nolan Miles to second. Isaac Bonner on the bases loaded walk will bring the two-hitter in the lineup. Rhett Zielinski to the plate once again, and that's going to do it for Cole Kramer as the new pitcher has come up to the hill. So David Burkhart is going to come in as the new pitcher. Cole Kramer goes over to first. Burkhart, our new pitcher. Zielinski at the plate. Working quick, but it's a 2-0 count to Zielinski. Base is still loaded. Popped up in the infield. That is the second baseman, Vasquez, getting underneath it. He has to reach back to get it. So the Cubs get a bunch. Some bases loaded walks help out, and it is going to be an 8-3 lead as we move to the third inning. Looks like the Renner catcher, Nick Bartles, just having a conversation about where they can put these pitches. Let me reset everything. We'll go to the top of the third, but it's an 8-3 lead now. So that was an F4 for Zielinski to end it. For the Cubs, 1 hit, 2 hits. The big error by Chaz Palmer in center allowed that inning to continue, and the Cubs took advantage of it. After that, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 walks with a hit by pitch in the middle of that. So the Cubs taking advantage of some errors by the Renner Monarchs, taking an 8-3 lead to the top of the third inning now. Jake Ammon back on the mound for the Cubs. He'll be facing the 6, 7, 8 hitters, Aiden Ladd, Maddox Boggs, and Cole Kramer of the Renner Monarchs. But a big, comfortable lead now for the Cubs. As promised, in between innings, I was going to give you an update on our NBA Finals game tonight. With OKC leading the series 3-2, Game 6 in Indianapolis tonight. Pacers with a 41-33 lead. 7 minutes, 20 seconds left in the second quarter, so they're about halfway through that second quarter, but it's a 8-point lead at the moment for the Pacers. Trying to force a Game 7 and head back down to Oklahoma City. Pretty sure that Game 7 would be this weekend. Saturday, perhaps even Sunday evening, I guess. They've been taking some days off in between those games, but they can have Game 7 all by themselves now. If the Pacers can finish the deal. Popped straight up. First pitch. Noah Buss trying to get under it first. The pitcher will take control of that. Jake Ammon calls him off and had a much better angle to get that. Noah Buss kind of circling. So that'll be an F1 in foul territory as the first out of the third inning. And that'll bring up the 7-hitter for Renner. Maddox Bags, not Boggs. Bags is what I just heard. Let me rewrite that. Maddox Bags. It was some funky writing on the lineup card, and I had it wrong. So Maddox Bags to the plate. Bags, the shortstop. He'll start with a 1-0 count. Ammon will miss. 2-0. Big swing there. 2-1 now. Sun is setting. Getting a little bit cooler out here. Wind is also dying. That is a tapper. Second base, Nolan Miles will fire across and get the ground out there. Nice play by Nolan Miles. 4-3 put out. We'll get 2 outs for the Renner Monarchs here in the top of the third. And that'll bring up the 8-hitter in lineup. Now a first baseman, Cole Kramer, to the plate. Strike 1 to Kramer. The adamant call by our fantastic umpire here. That misses. 1-1. Inside on that. 2-1. Kramer with a single in the second inning. He did score on that as well. He was run number 3 for the Monarchs. Curveball misses inside. 3-1 now. Ammon's going to miss outside, and that'll walk Cole Kramer with 2 outs. And bring up the 9-hitter in lineup for the Renner Monarchs, Nick Bartles, the catcher. Hit a ground out to shortstop in his second inning. Big 8-3 lead for the Brookings Cubs. Top of the third inning. Swing and a miss for Bartles. 0-1. Ball gets away from Buss. That's going to allow Kramer to move up to second base. Ball was low, so it's a 1-1 count, but Kramer's now sitting in scoring position for Nick Bartles. One and one to Bartles. Tapper, left side. Shortstop will fire. Nice play by Isaac Bonner to get the third out of the top of the third. That'll end the threat. No hits. 1 runner left on, a walk, and no damage by the Renner Monarchs. As we'll reset here. Clear out the old scoreboard and go to the bottom of the third. Third inning tonight brought to us by, get back to my sponsor sheet here, Ray's Corner. Ray's Corner, a staple of the downtown party area of Brookings Main Street. Ray's Corner, a staple that's been there for decades. Started a long time ago. I don't know the full history of Ray's Corner, but the current Ray's has expanded. They bought the old Subway building that was right next to them, so now there's 2 areas of fun in Ray's Corner. They are huge supporters of the military and veterans. They're part of the Abate Poker Run. I believe that's this weekend. Is it the ride-through this weekend as well? I'm not sure on that, but Abate, a motorcycle club here in town. Ray's Corner, big part of that as they try to get aboard a lot of those poker runs. Lisa, the manager, was also a proud sponsor of the honor flights, taking old veterans on a flight to Washington, D.C. That was a couple of years ago, the last time I heard about the honor flights happening. But Ray's Corner, man, a proud sponsor of our military, our veterans, and stop on down. Happy hour every day, 4 to 6. Specials every day. Ray's Corner, man, one of the staples of downtown, one of the alumni spots for the SDSU Jackrabbits. Parker Winghart's going to have a line out to start the bottom of the third. Hot shot. So that'll be a line to the third baseman, who is Troy Lanier. No, sorry. Now Cole Kramer. So that'll bring 1 out here for the Cubs. And the cleanup hitter coming to the plate, Miles Reese. He's got a tapper in the infield, and that'll be a ground out for him. 6-3 put out. That's 2 outs now, as we're working quickly with our new pitcher, David Burkhardt, on the mound. That'll bring up the 5 hitter for the Cubs. Number 12, Noah Buss, the catcher. So thank you to Ray's Corner, just to finish up that sponsorship. Thank you to Ray's Corner for being a sponsor of Saul's Media and being a sponsor of these Brookings Cubs broadcasts through the summertime. Big ground ball, nice pickup. And that'll be just a ground out to first base. That's not Cole Kramer. That is number 18. So that is Lanier. So Cole Kramer went out to right field. They confused me. So that was Troy Lanier on that put out there. So that is a 3 unassisted. A 1-2-3 inning for the Cubs. And we move to the 4th. And the top of the order coming up for the Renner Monarchs as well. Corey Vasquez, Chaz Palmer, and Troy Lanier, the 1-2-3 hitters. Here in the top of the 4th, it's an 8-3 lead. Jake Ammon back on the mound for the Cubs. Warming up with designated hitter Arlen Peters catching for him at the moment, as they allow Noah Buss to get the pads back on and head back behind the plate. Another fun night here at the ballpark, Bob Sheldon Field. A very busy place in the summertime. That was the whole idea of the renovations that the city of Brookings put together for this field. As you can see, it is turf on the infield now. Just a way to make the expenses just a little bit easier. But with the amount of baseball games that are on this field through the summertime at all levels, the Cubs, the Bandits, the Shoots, the Bombers, as those teams kind of play, at some other places in town here too. I think they still play some games at the middle school as well, depending on what level you are. But plenty of baseball games played here at Bob Sheldon Field. A great investment by the city of Brookings to add to the experience here at Bob Sheldon Field, and really has become one of the marquee fields here in South Dakota. Man, a beautiful place to see a baseball game, to experience and be a part of some baseball here in Brookings. Jake Ammon still on the mound. This will be Corey Vasquez, and he will foul that off down the right field line. That'll go out of play. over our fans on the fence line down the right field line. Good to see some fans out there. There is some fans out in the right field corner hanging out on the big fly zone. The big mound beyond right field. Big strike there. 0-2 now to Vasquez. Update on the... Ooh, there's a tapper. Tough play. Bonner with a turn spin, and I think it pulled Koffel off the bag. Great pickup, great throw, but it just brought Koffel off the bag just a little bit. But a good try by Isaac Bonner at short. So officially an infield single for the leadoff hitter here in the fourth inning. That'll bring Chaz Palmer to the plate with a runner on first base. And nobody out for Renner. Chaz Palmer, the big error in the second inning. Would have been out number 3, but it allowed that inning to continue. 4 more runs to come across, and the Cubs were threatening with bases loaded. And it was a pop-up by Red Zielinski that ended the threat. The throw over to first, not in time. So 1-0 count to Palmer. Vasquez a threat to steal on first. Palmer with the can of corn fly ball in the second. Just popped out of his glove. Cubs took full advantage of that and built themselves an 8-3 lead because of it. Another throw over. Vasquez gets back. Trying to keep him honest over there. Twins got a win today. Ended their 6-game losing streak. Trying to keep you up to date with the Twins as best I can, but boy. Other than Byron Buxton playing pretty well right now, he had 2 home runs today. Boy, that rest of that team is just not playing very well. They did manage to get 12 runs on the Reds today and managed to not get swept by Cincinnati. That's after being swept by the Houston Astros over the weekend. So now they will come on home, and I'll try to get you a schedule here. It's a 3-1 count to Palmer. Another throw over. Vasquez gets back. Buxton powers the Twins past the Reds to stop the 6-game slide. Cody Clemens and Byron Buxton went back-to-back home runs en route to 12 runs today. That is going to be Wingart with a nice play. Good pickup there. The strong throw to first gets the speedy Palmer. A 5-3 put out for the first out. Vasquez moves down to second. Clear some things out here. Get our scoreboard correct. But a nice play by Parker Winghart on the bouncer to third base. So with 1 out, that'll bring up the third hitter in the lineup. This is Troy Lanier. Good stop by Buss. Keeps that in front of him. It was a low pitch that bounced. Good stop, though. Kept Vasquez at second base. Ammon delivers. Outside on that, 2-0. Vasquez still a threat to steal. The speedy leadoff hitter sitting on second base. That is tapped. Right side. Koffel getting under that. He will bring that in right on the right field line. Keep Vasquez at second. And that's a big out. The F3, second out of the inning, will bring up the cleanup hitter, David Burkhardt, with a runner on second base, but 2 outs now. still pitching very well. He's given up the 3 runs on 5 hits, but has been in control for a lot of this game tonight. He'll start Burkhart with a strike, 0-1. Big swing and a miss there, 0-2. Misses wide, 1-2 now to Burkhart. Bouncer. Bus does a nice job of keeping that in front of him as well. Keeps Vasquez at second, but now a 2-2 count for Burkhart. Hammond delivers. Big swing and a miss. That's a big strikeout there. As Hammond gets through the top of the lineup for the Renner Monarchs. 1 hit, 1 left. Nobody scores. Officially, strikeout number 3 for Ammon. But a nice job of getting through the top of the order there to get his Cub teammates back to the plate. Bottom of the 4th now. Koffel, Peters, and Wookie do up the 6, 7, 8 hitters in the Cubs lineup. We'll get you some more Twins news, but we got to thank another sponsor here. The 4th inning brought to us by Scoops and Loops, a fantastic new business in downtown Brookings right on Main Avenue. Scoops and Loops. So you get your ice cream, you get your pretzels. That's the idea that Ava had. Ava was more than happy to be a part of the Cubs summer, so just a fun young business owner on the downtown area in Brookings. Scoops and Loops, man. It was a warm enough day today. Take advantage of an ice cream shop being in downtown Brookings and enjoy that for the summer. If you don't like ice cream, which is a crazy thought, they do have pretzels in there too, and they're fantastic. So, Scoops and Loops, downtown Brookings. Thank you for being a sponsor of everything we're doing here on Saul's Media and hanging out with the Cubs for the summertime. Koffel's going to lift that to center field. Palmer is going to get underneath that, two-hand it, and bring that in, as that fly ball does not pop out of his glove. The F8 will be the first out of the 4th inning for the Cubs. And that'll bring number 15, Arlen Peters, to the plate. He is our designated hitter for the evening. As we get back to a little Twins talk. Buxton had 2 home runs. Clemens had 1. There's a foul ball off the backstop. Banging off the roof of the backstop here. Umpire will run that down. So Buxton had 2 home runs today. Cody Clemens had 1. Ryan Jeffers had a home run and 4 RBI. And it was a 12-5 win for those Twins. Burkhart works very fast as I'm trying to get some news here, and I don't think we're going to be able to do that when he's pitching. He moves very quickly up there. Peters, that went off his leg, so he's trying to work that out a bit. For the Twins, they are now, after the win today, 37-37 on their season. They're 10.5 games back. They're now in 3rd place in the AL Central behind Detroit, who still owns the best record in baseball. There's a big shot, drifting foul that left the yard, but just wide of the foul pole. So Peters, after fouling one off his leg, turns on an inside pitch and sends that over the wall, but just foul. So a long strike for Peters, and he'll go back to the batter's box. It's an 0-2 count with 1 out. That'll be too low, 1-2. the Detroit Tigers still have the best record in baseball. That didn't even make sense. Reached for it, sends that to the shortstop, and the first baseman will be pulled off the bag. Infield single for Arlen Peters. Tough play for Maddox Baggs at shortstop for the Renner Monarchs, as it was a slow roller to get to him, and he kind of short-armed the throw, kind of submarined it over to first base, and it pulled Lanier off the bag. So a 1-0 count now for Tucker Wookie. 2-0 as that's inside. Burkhart moves very fast. Works very fast, maybe say it that way. Line drive right up the middle. That'll be picked up. Ooh, a fancy little flip at second base. That's a double play. Highlight reel type thing. 6-4-3 DP. As Maddox Baggs picks that up, flips it right out of his glove to the second baseman, Corey Vasquez, and they throw it over to first. Pitcher's best friend, the 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for the Renner Monarchs. So one hit, nobody left on, and a 1-2-3 inning as we move to the fifth. Baggs with a fancy put out there. Got it in the glove and just flipped it over to the second baseman Vasquez, and he was able to relay that to first for the double play. For the Renner Monarchs, down 8-3. Renner has 3 runs on 5 hits. They have 2 errors on their night. The Cubs have 8 runs on 7 hits and 1 error on their evening. Scoring has slowed down a bit after the first couple. And now Renner is going to bring the 5, 6, 7 hitters in their lineup to the plate. Adam Durfee, Aiden Ladd, and Maddox Baggs will be the hitters for the Monarchs. For the Cubs, new pitcher Arlen Peters on the mound. He moves from his DH spot to the pitcher, which means that Jake Ammon is probably now our designated hitter, maybe? He's hanging out in the dugout, so we'll see if he comes to the plate at some point. That might not be the case. But a nice job by Jake Ammon on a warm night here at Bob Sheldon Field to give his team a chance. 8-3 is the lead. Ammon had a tough start in the first inning, allowed 2 runs quickly, but then really settled in. Really pitched well for the evening. Only allowed the 1 more run. In the last couple innings that he pitched, only allowed 1 hit in the last 2 innings that he pitched. Also had a walk in there, but really settled in and took care of this Renner Monarchs lineup. So his pitching night will be done. Arlen Peters will take his try at it. For Renner, the 5-hitter in lineup number 6, Adam Durfee, the third baseman for Renner. He's first up here in the 5th inning. An 8-3 lead by Brookings. Now, I gave you the standings earlier in the game for Class A amateur ball, and it is Renner at the 2 spot in those rankings. Brookings in the 3 spot. So a chance to flip that with the Harrisburg Woodies at the top spot in Class A. That is lifted straight up in the air. Noah Buss trying to get underneath it. Koffel is calling him off, and Koffel will bring it in. Nice communication there, boys. Nice work. The F3 is the first out of the 5th inning. It's a much easier play for a Justin Koffel at first base to charge in on that rather than Noah Buss looking straight up and trying to circle underneath it. So a nice job of communicating. Koffel calls him off and brings it in. That'll bring the 6-hitter lineup. This is Aiden Ladd. Aiden Ladd playing left field for Renner tonight, and he'll start with a 1-0 count. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. We've seen Peters so far this season. Strong arm on the hill out there. Misses wide, 2-1. So Peters can bring the velocity. He'll try to challenge this Renner lineup now. Big swing and a miss there, 2-2. The ball gets away from Noah Buss, but with nobody on, no big deal there. The on-deck hitter will run that down. It's going to fill the count, though, 3-2. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. Marlon Peters on the mound. He gets his sign. He'll fire. And that is lifted. Left center field. Wookie moving underneath that, and the wind held it up. Wookie will hang underneath that, and it's just a long fly ball is all for out number 2. Tucker Wookie on the catch. 2 outs now for Renner. Maddox Baggs at the plate. This number 21. He is the shortstop. Just had the nifty play in the bottom of the 4th inning as he used his glove to flip over to Vasquez at second base and the relay over to first for the double play. Hard hit, just wide. So Baggs will start with an 0-1 count as that ground ball just goes wide. Maddox Baggs. See, it was a baseball name until I figured out there was an A in the last name. Maddox Boggs. See, that's a baseball name. Maddox still works, but... One and 1 to Baggs. That misses outside. 2-1. Marlon Peters gets his sign. He'll fire. Hot shot. Picked up by Winghard. He'll throw it over, and that'll do it for the top of the 5th. Nice play there. 1-2-3 inning for the Cubs. The 5-3 put out for the 3rd out. Ends the 5th for the Renner Monarchs. We move to the bottom of the 5th with an 8-3 lead by our Cubs. And this will be Nolan Miles, the 9-hitter in the lineup, and then top of the order for the Cubs. Miles so far on his night. 0 for 1 officially with a flyout and a walk. He has not scored. Sponsor of the 5th, as I bring back my sponsor sheet here. 5th inning is brought to us by the Man Cave Barbershop, a fantastic barbershop right here on South Madary across from Bob Sheldon Field. Alicia and friends will take care of you there. If you've got your hairs that you need to get cut, maybe the kids need a haircut, Alicia and friends, man. Go to the Man Cave Barbershop Facebook page and do all your scheduling online. You must have an appointment, but a fantastic barbershop and a proud sponsor of everything that we do here on Saul's Media, not only with Sioux Valley through the school year, but this summer, the Brookings Cubs added to the list. So thank you to Alicia for being a proud sponsor of everything we do here on Saul's Media and hanging out with us for the Cubs summer season. The boys of summer. We'll see how it goes for the rest of the year. Cubs 9-2 on their season so far, trying to get to that double-digit win plateau. And they do have an 8-3 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. over the second ranked in the state, Renner Monarchs. Miles is going to lift that left side. That is going to drift out of play over the dugout of the Renner Monarchs, so it'll be a 1-1 count. Burkhart, the pitcher for Renner, does not waste time on that mound. But that is going to be drilled left center, and it'll be caught, just held up enough. That was Aiden Ladd that ran underneath that. So Nolan Miles will have his second fly out to left field of the night. First out of the 5th inning for the Cubs, and then he'll bring up the top of the order, Isaac Bonner. Shortstop for the Cubs. Strong shot, and that's going to be a line out right to third base. So too quickly here, Troy Lanier brings that in. Liner to first is out number 2 for the Cubs. And the 2-hitter in the lineup, Rhett Zielinski, will come to the plate. Rhett so far tonight has a single, a pop-up to to second base, and a walk. He has scored twice tonight, and he'll start with a 1-0 count. Pitch on the inside corner is a strike, 1-1. As I mentioned, Burkhart moves very quickly, or works very quickly on the mound. 1-2 now. Cubs hitter just trying to keep up with him. Big shot, Rhett Zielinski. That is going to be over the head of the left fielder, and it clears the wall. Hard to see out there, but he clears it right over the 320 sign. Rhett Zielinski with a solo shot here in the 5th inning. Add another run to the Cubs, and it's 9-3 after the solo shot. Rhett, after a good hitting night on Monday against the Flying Squirrels of Sioux Falls, now with his second hit of the night, he scored 3 runs tonight, and that is a big blast to left field, upping the lead to 9-3, and that'll bring Parker Winghart to the plate. Burkhart working very fast, gets ahead 0-2 on Winghart with 2 outs, but another run comes across for the Cubs on the solo shot by Rhett Zielinski, the manager. Winghart's going to lift that, third base, and that will be brought in for the 3rd out of the inning. Adam Durfee brings that in, so an F5 ends it, but the Cubs add another 1 hit, 1 run, nobody left, no errors. Rhett Zielinski in the solo shot to the 320 sign in left field. Makes our lead 9-3 as we move to the 6th inning. Big shot by Rhett there. That was fun. So that inning brought to us by the Man Cave Barbershop. I think I finished that, didn't I? I finished that, right? Yeah. Thank you to Alicia and the Man Cave Barbershop right across the street here from Bob Sheldon Field. Take the fam down there and get them all cut. I had mentioned the WNBA earlier. It was Caitlin Clark who is back after a quad strain, and she's been absolutely destroying it, but she is a bit of a hothead. She was reacting to the aggressive defense on her by a former opponent from the Big Ten. So J.C. Sheldon, I think her name was, and, trying to get some defense on Caitlin Clark, happened to slap her in the face when she was reaching for a steal. Clark took offense, pushed back. One of Sheldon's Connecticut teammates knocks Caitlin Clark to the floor. And then a couple plays later, it is the newly named Barbie Enforcer, Sophie Cunningham, who is a black belt in Taekwondo, apparently. She throws J.C. Sheldon to the floor on kind of a breakaway layup, and then a melee ensues again. Now, no punches were thrown by any means, but I guess I'll just add, the WNBA can thank a lot of what's going on as far as attendance, as far as TV money, as far as salaries go, to Caitlin Clark. Whether the rest of the players in the league like that or not, that's the case. So think of when Tiger Woods bursted out of the scene with the PGA 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever it is. of what happened there. Purses at the majors, the Masters used to give, what, $400,000, $450,000 to the winner. The U.S. Open winner that just happened last Sunday got $4.2 million, and that is from the Tiger Woods effect on the PGA. Caitlin Clark's doing that right now for the WNBA, so it would probably be a good idea. Now, look, you can't make special rules for Caitlin Clark. I'm not asking for that, but perhaps there can be, fines or rejections or some there's another word I'm thinking of, and I just blanked on it. Suspensions, possibly. If your defense is going to be that aggressive on the star of the league, I get that. I mean, you want to try to challenge her by all means. She can back it up to 30 feet and drain them all night long on you. I get that. But in a game with Connecticut and Indiana, the referees just kind of let that aggression go. Yeah, the melees had some ejections to it, but after the slap to the face to Caitlin Clark, and then it was the Connecticut teammate Mabry that knocked Caitlin Clark to the floor, they weren't ejected after that. There was a flagrant foul that was called, but Mabry was still able to stay on the floor after knocking Caitlin Clark to the floor in a dead ball. Now, the melee that happened after that, I think Sophie Cunningham got thrown out for the flagrant foul that she did because it was all reactionary. But the referee, I mean, there's got to be a conversation in the referees of you can't let a game get that far away from you as you're playing it. I mean, they have to police the game somewhat. And I get that Caitlin Clark, you don't make special rules for her. There wasn't really special rules for Michael Jordan other than the fact that he got a lot of calls. That is a strikeout to start the top of the sixth. He started getting calls because the referees, at least respected his game enough. Think of SGA right now and all the calls that he gets. Just you can tap that guy, he'll fall over and get the call. Well, Michael Jordan was doing that 30 years ago. Maybe not falling down, but Michael Jordan would drive to the hole all the time, and everyone was slapping at him and knocking him around. Think of the aggression that the Detroit Pistons used to give on him, the very physical series with the New York Knicks back in those days. So all the other teams that were facing him would call those the Jordan rules of how to try to defend Michael Jordan, who could score over you. He could score through you. He could get to the hole and finish with a dunk. He could shoot from the outside later on in his career. He got very good at that. But then he could also defend you on the other end. Michael Jordan had 10 different ways that he could beat you in a basketball game, and it worked very well. 6 titles. Caitlin Clark in the WNBA right now. I'm not saying that she's going to get 6 titles or anything like that, but she is the star of that league. She is the face of that league, and I'm not saying you have to protect her or make special rules for her, but in a game against the Connecticut Sun, where the defense is very aggressive against her, boy, the referee's got to do a better job of just trying to police that slightly better. And if it does get out of hand, like a slap to the face and knock to the floor, there needs to be penalties for that. Mabry, I think is the girl's last name, and not Caitlin Clark. She stayed in the game after that. There's TikTok highlights and Instagram highlights. There's a tapper too short and just kind of fumbled a little bit. Bonner, it was so slow to get to Bonner, he didn't have a play at first. So an infield hit by Nick Bartles. That'll bring the top of the order. Corey Vasquez coming to the plate with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. So I'm not saying special rules or anything like that, but there has to be a conversation between the front office of the WNBA and how the referees are going to start calling defense against Caitlin Clark, because you can't let games get out of hand like that again. Just crazy in the WNBA. Now, Caitlin Clark brings a lot of that on herself. She is a hothead. She is very cocky out there for sure. She's very confident in herself, and she can back it up to 30 feet. She can make the three-pointers like Curry made three-pointers in the NBA. She can keep backing up, and she can make it from there. The logo three-pointers, that is lifted to the right side. Long run, and just wide of Reese out there in right field, and it'll drop as a foul ball. He touched it in foul territory, and it stayed foul, so just a long foul ball, 1-1 now for Vasquez as he comes back to the batter's box. Miles Reese with a very long run trying to get to that, but to no avail. So the face of the league for the WNBA, the reason that all those players have salaries that have kind of doubled or tripled, TV rankings have, or TV ratings, I guess I should say, have exploded because of Caitlin Clark. Stadium revenue, team revenue, because of 20,000 people in every game that she goes to, is bringing in revenue. Snap, throw it on to first. Bartle slides back in safe. Called a strike, so we'll go 1 and 2. Vasquez in the batter's box. It's a 9-3 lead for the Cubs. That pitch low, 2 and 2. So that'll end my Caitlin Clark rant. You don't have to make special rules for Caitlin Clark, but the referees have to do a slightly better job of protecting her a little bit more. You can't allow her to get smacked in the face and knocked to the floor in the span of 3 seconds and just throw out one flagrant foul. There's got to be more to it than that. There has to be some penalties or people are going to keep beating her up. That is going to be the 6-4-3 double play. Nice play by Bonner. Throws that over to Nolan Miles. And the relay. Nice job, boys. Whew. The 6-4-3 double play. Pitcher's best friend. There's 3 outs. There's 2 right there. And that'll do it. 1 hit for the Renner Monarchs. Nobody left on. No errors. It was a 1-2-3 inning. And we move to the bottom of the 6th. The Fever right now, they are on Amazon Prime Video tonight. They're playing the Valkyries of Golden State on San Francisco. It's early in that game. The Fever's down 7-2. I bring up the Fever and the Lynx quite a bit through this broadcast so far because they are going to meet in the Commissioner's Cup final. I believe $500,000 is up for grabs for the winning squad. So it's a money deal. Just like the NBA has the in-season tournament, so does the WNBA. And it's the Minnesota Lynx, maybe the best team in the WNBA this season, taking on the Indiana Fever for the Commissioner's Cup title. That'll be on July 1st, so a little over a week away. An update on Game 6, I think they're at halftime now. Let me do an update on that. They are in the third now. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. The Pacers have a 24-point lead. Indiana Pacers trying to send that to a 7th game in Oklahoma City. Pacers with a big lead at home tonight, 66-42 over the Thunder in the NBA Finals, Game 6. Lifted. Left side. Shortstop is going to make the play, and that is Maddox Baggs who calls that off. That was Miles Reese at the plate with the F6 for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm going to bring up Noah Buss, the catcher for the Cubs. 6th inning sponsor for us tonight, Tropical Smoothie Cafe right on 6th Street in Brookings. A fantastic sponsor of everything we do here on Sauls Media. Bus is going to lift that left side. Long run for the left fielder, and he'll run that down. Nice play by Aiden Ladd out there. So 2 quickly here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs now for the Cubs, and that'll bring Justin Koffel to the plate with 2 outs. Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Thank you, Ann, for being a sponsor of everything we do here on Sauls Media. She was a huge sponsor of Sioux Valley Athletics throughout the school year. Tropical Smoothie Cafe provided the Player of the Game sponsorship. So those players of the game got a gift certificate for a free smoothie through the volleyball season and the boys and girls basketball season. So thank you to Ann Park being a sponsor of everything we do here on Sauls Media. And we'll keep that going for the Sioux Valley kids as we'll keep giving them Tropical Smoothie Cafe smoothies. Right on 6th Street across from the Brookings Aquatic Center. That was a fly out by Koffel. We're moving very quickly now after the slow start. F8, 3 outs. 1-2-3 inning for the Cubs. 3 flyouts there, and that'll bring Chaz Palmer, Troy Lanier, and David Burkhart to the plate for the Renner Monarchs. And that'll be the top of the 7th inning. So let me clear some things out here. Top, we're all good there. It's still a 9-3 lead for the Cubs. A lot of runs scored in the first 2 innings, and only 1 scored since. That one was the Rhett Zielinski solo shot in the 5th inning. But we're moving quick now. David Burkhart on the hill for the Renner Monarchs. He works very quickly. No wasted energy with his time on the mound. For the Cubs, Arlen Peters will head back out to the mound to start the 7th inning. If he can move quick, he'll pitch the 8th as well. We can try to do some College World Series news. Arkansas had a heartbreaking loss to the LSU Tigers. Just last night? Or was that 2 nights ago as well? Losing track of days, man. Working at Bell Brands on the floor like I do, it's 12-hour days, man. You can lose track of all sorts of things doing that. Trying to keep up on my phone, trying to sound smart on the broadcast here, but there are things that get away. Dates is usually what it is. Days get away. I can remember the events that happened, but not quite the day that it happened. But Arkansas, heartbreaking loss to the LSU Tigers. Had them on the ropes, man. And it was an error here and an error there, man. And the Razorbacks get sent home from the College World Series. LSU is going to face Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, I believe they're called. I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right, so someone can correct me on that. But Coastal Carolina and LSU will battle it out for the championship of the College World Series down in Omaha. Imagine that's this weekend as well. Arlen Peters is going to start with a curveball that misses 1-0. This is Chaz Palmer, the center fielder for Renner, leading off for the 7th inning. Up in the zone, 2-0. That's low, 3-0. Four-pitch walk to Palmer. So Palmer reaches on the base on balls. That'll bring up the 3-hitter in the lineup, Troy Lanier, the first baseman for the Monarchs. Arlen Peters still on the mound out there after a leadoff walk. Try to go as far as he can tonight. Not a lot of players in the lineup for the Cubs tonight. I think there's only 10 guys here tonight, sadly. Like, it's town ball. This is amateur ball, and guys are busy in the summertime. So you're not always going to have 15, 16 guys, but as long as you have 9 or 10, you can keep playing. But Peters might have to finish this off unless we've got another pitcher that's ready to go here quickly. Foul tip, straight back, 0-2. Lanier, big kid. He's officially 0 for 2 on his night. A strikeout and a pop-up in the infield. He has walked once. So officially 0 for 2 on his night, but he's a big right-handed hitter in the 3 spot. Down 0-2 here. Misses high, 1-2. Palmer a threat to score, or not, a threat to steal, I guess I should say. The runner on first. And Renner just trying to get back in this game now. Down 6 runs. Starting to run out of innings here. Just inside, 2-2. Renner has had back-to-back innings where they've gone down 1, 2, 3 in the lineup. The inning before that, it was only 4 batters that came to the plate. So they haven't done a lot here in the last few innings. There's a tapper left side. Winghart is going to pick that up. Fire to first. Good play there, Parker Winghart. That'll be the first out here in the 7th inning. It does allow Palmer to move up to second. The only play was to throw it over to first. Nice job on that. So Palmer will be sitting at second base with 1 out. And coming to the plate, David Burkhart, the fast-working pitcher. Throws right, but bats left. Peters and Buss have a conversation in front of the mound there. Some strategy with Palmer on second base. Could have been talking about what they're going to do for signs-wise. Peters fires. Big swing and a miss. Ball gets away from Buss, but not far enough away for Palmer to think about moving around. Swing and a miss makes it an 0-1 count. For David Burkhart, the cleanup hitter for the Monarchs. Now the pitcher, who works very fast. Barely getting my sponsorships out before the inning's over so far. Since he's been out there. Moving quickly. Another big swing and a miss. 0-2 now to Burkhart. And it's tapped foul left side over to the Renner dugout. One of the on-deck hitters throws that back into play. Count will stay at 0-2. Chance Palmer on second base. It's a 6-run lead for the Cubs. Renner trying to get back into this now in the late innings. Big swing and a miss. Peters gets the strikeout for out number 2. And that'll bring Adam Durfee to the plate. With 2 outs now here in the top of the 7th, Buss and Peters will have another conversation in front of the mound. Durfee, the third baseman for Renner. 0 for 3 on his night. He's got 2 pop-ups in the infield and a strikeout so far. Peters will start high, ball 1. Do we call him AP? Baseball players are great at nicknames. We got to get some nicknames for these guys. That pitch high. 2-0. We can call him AP, but that's, universally a Minnesota Vikings thing with the Adrian Peterson that they had there. So AP kind of taken. That is a big shot. Center field. Zielinski is going to have to run that down. Big double off the wall to straight center field. Trying for third. And it'll be thrown out at third base. No, they say he's safe. He got around the tag. All right. Well, there was the relay. Zielinski had to run that down to straight center field. Durfee with a huge blast. Couple of bounces to straight center. We're going to have an appeal out here. Third base umpire said that Durfee was able to get his hands around that tag. If so, it's an RBI triple. Umpires having a conversation right in front of home plate. And safe is going to be the call. So an RBI triple by Adam Durfee. Big shot over Zielinski in straight center field. That scores Chaz Palmer. And it'll make our game 9-4. With 2 outs and a man on third now. And coming to the plate, Aiden Ladd. He's the left fielder for the Renner Monarchs. Durfee with a huge shot to center field. Zielinski the long run to run that down. A couple of bounces to the fence. It's thrown into Bonner. Bonner with a great relay to third, but it was Durfee with a great slide to get his hands around that tag safely into third base. Arlen Peters now 0-2 against Aiden Ladd. That pitch misses. High and outside. 1-2 now. Peters delivers. Too high on that. 2-2. Other than the Zielinski solo shot to left field, for Renner, that was probably easily the hardest hit ball of the night. The Durfee triple. That's tap foul, left side. Just past the Renner dugout. Count's going to stay at 2-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. But that was a big blast, big line drive to straight center. Zielinski had to run that down. The Renners had some singles and some doubles tonight, but nothing as hard hit as that. And I think Zielinski's only got the other big blast tonight. That is lifted foul over the grandstand. Count's going to stay 2-2. So the RBI triple makes it a 9-4 ball game. Now Peters battling out of this, or at least trying to battle out of this. Peters gets his sign. Delivers. Lifted foul over the grandstand once again. Count's going to stay at 2-2. Good battle here with Aiden Ladd. Lifted, left center. Wookie with a long run. And that will leave the yard. Renner with 2 big blasts here in the 7th inning. That's a 2-run shot by Aiden Ladd. And that'll make our score 9-6 as Renner is doing their best to try to keep up or catch up. Aiden Ladd with a big shot there, left center field, dropped right in front of the scoreboard out there past the left field fence. A 2-run shot for Ladd, 9-6. Now the lead for the Cubs, and that'll bring Maddox Baggs to the plate, the shortstop for Renner. He'll be hitting with 2 outs and nobody on. Renner has brought 3 across so far here in the top of the 7th. Peters still on the mound. There's a strike on the outside corner. Big blast. Aiden Ladd. AP misses inside, 1-1. Ball low and outside, 2-1 now. Three and 1 our count. Peters still pitching with the lead. Just needs to throw some strikes here. There you go. Gets the pop up in the infield. That is Koffel moving underneath it, and he will bring it in right on the first base line. It almost got away from Koffel, but he brought it in. But Renner does some damage. Catches up a little bit. 2 hits, 3 runs, a walk, nobody left on. But Renner closes it to 9-6. And we move to the bottom of the 7th now for the Cubs. It's the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up. Arlen Peters, Tucker Wookie, and Nolan Miles coming to the plate. Stretch time for the fans in the stands. 7th inning tonight is going to be brought to us by Shorty's Burgers and Brews. Kim and friends, owners of Shorty's Hot Box food truck, are going to go with their own brick and mortar. They're going to take over the building that was vacated by Boss's Pizza, part of the Econo Lodge that's right on I-29 on 6th Street on the east side of Brookings. Kim is still working on some construction and putting things together in a kitchen, so they don't know when they're going to open up officially. It's going to be this summer at some point, is what I'm told. But Shorty's Burgers and Brews, a new pub coming to town, and I'll let you know when she lets me know of when that's going to be up and running. But it should be a fun spot. Get in there and check it out. Obviously, burgers and brews, but if it's anything like the food truck that they have, the arts festivals they go to, they'll have a good selection of sandwiches you can do, some savory sides as well, and it'll be a fun spot to go to. So part of the Econo Lodge on the east side of Brookings, right on the interstate. Shorty's Burgers and Brew, a proud sponsor. Kim's a proud sponsor of everything we're doing here on Saul's Media. She's a sponsor of some of the Sioux Valley things that we do with the Cossacks through the school year. And now part of the Brookings Cubs as well through the summertime. Burkhart still working quickly on the mound. There's a hard shot by Parker Wingard that chases the third base coach into the Renner dugout. Jake Ammon getting out of the way of that. So the foul ball makes it a 2-1 count. Ammon still getting himself collected on the third base coaching box. That's inside on Peters. 3-1 now. Big shot. Drifting foul, however. And that'll go out of play into the bullpen out there, I believe. Peters turned on it. Just couldn't straighten it out. 3-2 now. Full count for Arlen Peters. Cubs have a 9-6 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. Burkhart's been working very quickly. It has stifled the last few innings of this Cubs lineup. Arlen will lift that into the stands. Over the grandstand, actually. The count's going to stay full with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. David Burkhart working very quickly on the mound. Peters fouls that off, just gets a piece of it. Count still full. Burkhart delivers. Peters is going to foul another one off. Just over the grandstand. Cubs have 9 runs on 8 hits. They do have 2 errors tonight. Renner now with 6 runs on 7 hits. They have 2 errors of their own. Renner got 3 runs in the top of the 7th on a RBI triple. And after all that, Peters is going to get plunked. So Arlen Peters will reach first on a hit by pitch. So with a man on, Tucker Wookie coming to the plate. Long at bat, gets Peters a shot on the shoulder. He'll wander on down to first. Tucker Wookie at the plate. Inside on the first try, 1-0. There's a strike outside corner. 1-1. Slapped right side. Vasquez moves over to get that. It's going to be a force out at second base, the only play he could make. So with 1 out now, Peters is the 4-6 put out for the first out. Wookie gets to first on the fielder's choice. Then to bring number 1, Nolan Miles, to the plate. Chops one foul down the left side. 0-1 now for Miles. Miles 0 for 2 on his down. He's got 2 flyouts to left field and a walk. That's lifted into right field. Kramer's going to get underneath that and bring it in. So that'll bring 2 outs now for the Cubs. And that'll bring us to the top of the order. Isaac Bonner coming to the plate with 2 outs and a man on first. Bonner with 1 hit tonight. Fouled straight back. He's officially 1 for 3. He's got a double and scored. Ground out to second base. He walked. There's a hard shot to shortstop, picked up and thrown to second for the force out there. Nice play by Maddox Baggs. Tossed over to Vasquez, and that's the force out at second base. And that'll do it for the Cubs in the 7th inning. 4-6 for out number 3. And officially, Bonner with the fielder's choice to end the inning. There we go. So that is no hits, no runs. 1 left on for the Cubs. We move to the 8th with a 9-6 lead. For the Monarchs, it's going to be the 8-9 hitters, and then top of the order. Cole Kramer coming to the plate first. Nick Bartles, the catcher, and then the top of the order, Corey Vasquez. Still in the mound for the Cubs, Arlen Peters. Just trying to finish this off. It's a 9-6 lead for the Cubs now. Peters has been throwing it pretty well, much like his predecessor, Jake Ammon. Now the Cubs just trying to finish this off. Burkhart's been very effective on the mound for the Renner Monarchs, coming in a relief appearance. But that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 innings now where 4 hitters is the limit. So Burkhart has been very good, working very quickly on the mound for the Monarchs. But it's still a 9-6 lead for the Cubs. Just trying to finish this off now. There's another warm-up pitch that went into the backstop. So the top of the 8th, Cole Kramer comes to the plate. He was the starting pitcher that got roughed up tonight. He was doing okay. It was 5-3 when the costly error by Chaz Palmer out in center field for the Renner Monarchs allowed 4 more runs to come across in the 2nd inning that made it 8-3 at that time. And that last run was what chased Kramer out of his starting spot. And Burkhart's taken over and pitched very well ever since. That pitch a little bit low, 1-1 now. Big swing and a miss. 1-2. For an update, Game 6 of the NBA Finals. This is in Indianapolis. The Thunder have a 3-2 lead over the Pacers, but the Pacers have a 30-point lead at the end of the 3rd quarter. Pacers probably going to win Game 6, force that magical Game 7 as they head back to Oklahoma City this weekend to finish off the NBA Finals. That's inside. Kramer gets out of the way. Full count now. Yeah, it's 90-60 at the end of the 3rd quarter, so Pacers playing very well. Probably inspired, I would imagine, but That's to even the series at 3, and we'll get the series-deciding matchup. Game 7. Hard shot. Winghart pinks it up. The throw across the diamond is bouncing to Kofel. He's got to try to bring that in. It gets past him and over to the fence. And Kramer will advance to second on the error. Probably E5 on that, I would imagine, on the throw. But Kramer gets up to second base on that. So Renner in business here in the top of the 8th. And that'll bring Nick Bartles, the catcher, to the plate. He is 1 for 3 on his night. He's got a single and 2 groundouts tonight. It was part of a double play that ended the 6th inning. Big strike there to start the at-bat. 0-1. Just trying to find some things that I saved on my Twitter feed. If you want to follow me, it's at Salzman Studios on Twitter. Pitch outside, 1-1. But I always try to find things on Twitter and save them so I can do them in broadcasts like this. I also have a podcast that I do, and I should really get one of those done this weekend, of just adding some things together, some thoughts, and just kind of continue it like I did my old radio show before the parent company of Brookings Radio got rid of all us local programmers, me included. But I didn't want to give up my play-by-play career that had just got started. So now we do it on our own. But the podcast still a continuation of that morning show of just getting random thoughts together and trying to get some opinions out there and some watchers. That's tap left side winger with a very tough play. That goes wide of Kofel at first base into the fence line again. Renner going to bring around another run. And Bartles is going to end up at second base. Another error, I would imagine, on Winghart. A tough throw. He's moving forward trying to get it over there, but it's an error either on Kofel not bringing it in or the bad throw, and it's probably the throw that'll get that. So, with nobody out now, Renner brings in a run. Arlen Peters is going to stay on the mound. It is now Bartles that's on second base, and top of the order is coming up. This is Corey Vasquez at the plate. Hard shot right up the middle. Bonner brings that in. Tough throw. Great play. Isaac Bonner at short. Wow. So Bartles will advance to third, but it's a 6-3 putout. What a great play by Isaac Bonner at short. That'll bring Chaz Palmer, the center fielder, to the plate, but a runner on third now and 1 out. Bonner comes to a sliding stop, picking up the ball just beyond second base. The quick up and spin and the throw over to Kofel at first. Tough play. They made it look very easy. Palmer now with 1 out. Start with a 1-0 count. 605 Sports also has a story about the Harrisburg Woodies, the return to amateur baseball. I haven't read that story yet. Maybe I'll save that for the podcast this weekend. Whenever I get that done at some point this weekend. 2-0 now to Palmer. Misses outside. This is my off weekend from Bell Brands, as I'll have 3 days of fun. My father's in a retirement, it's not a retirement home, it's a nursing home down in Flanders, so we'll go see him tomorrow morning. Other than that, I kind of want to golf my weekend away, but it's going to be 95 degrees out every day, and that's going to be a walk to Palmer. So the Renner Monarchs going to have runners on first and third. Here in the top of the 8th, they've already got 1 across. Arlen Peters still on the mound. Cubs don't have a lot of options at pitcher tonight. So Arlen's going to battle through whatever he's trying to do here. For the Monarchs, that'll bring the third hitter to the lineup, or to the plate. This is Troy Lanier, the first baseman for the Monarchs. Palmer a threat to score, or a threat to steal. I got so many thoughts going on in my head. Palmer a threat to steal on first base. Didn't move on that one. Pitch misses. It's a 1-0 count. That pitch misses. Bus kept it at least underneath him. It didn't get past him. Keeps the runners at first and third. Lanier on his night. Strikeout, pop up to first base, the ground out to third, and a walk. So he's 0 for 3 on his night with a walk. So Lanier an opportunity with runners on the corners. That pitch high and inside. Marlon Peters really starting to battle out there. It's a numbers game for the Cubs. They don't have a lot of arms tonight. Marlon Peters trying to fight through this. And that pitch is going to miss inside. Bases are loaded with one out. Bartles on third, Palmer on second. Lanier walks to get to first, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, David Burkhardt. He struck out his last 2 times up. He's got a double and a walk in the first couple innings. Bases are juiced. Renner's already brought 1 run in. A couple of errors this inning for the Cubs. That is a big fly ball, drifting foul down the right field line, and it'll go out of play past the bullpen on the right field corner. 0-1 now to Burkhardt. Just turned on that pitch. Bases loaded for Renner. Peters battling. It's an 0-1 count with 1 out. Just misses there, 1-1. Burkhardt, the opposing pitcher that's come in relief duty, has really shut down this Cubs lineup. Zielinski with the big solo blast. It's been the only run since the second inning. Now Burkhardt's got an opportunity with the bases loaded, and he's in the batter's box. 2-1 now, as that pitch was low. Good stop by Buss to keep that right there. Marlon Peters on the mound for the Cubs. Fouled off right into the on-deck circle. A couple of Renner players get out of the way of that. 2-2 now. Two count. 1 out here in the top of the 8th. Line drive, left center field. That's 1 run in. 2 runs coming in for the Renner Monarchs. Burkhardt pulling up lame as he rounds second, limping into third base. He'll be safe there. But 2 runs come across, and we've got a tie game at 9. The 2-run single. Bartle scores. Palmer comes around. Lanier limps into third base. Looks like he's staying out there. And it's the 2-run single by David Burkhardt. And that'll bring the third baseman to the plate, the 5-hitter in the lineup. This is Adam Durfee. Runners on the corners. 1 out, and now a tie game at 9. Marlon Peters still battling out there. Inside on the first try. 1-0 to Durfee. Tapped, foul. 1-1 now. Good pitch. 1-2. Misses high. 2-2. So Peter's battling now. Has allowed 3 runs in this inning, 3 runs in the last inning. Again, the Cubs don't have a lot of arms tonight. Only playing with 10 guys in the dugout tonight. Big swing and a miss, big strikeout. There you go, Arlen Peters. Nice way to battle. So the strikeout of Durfee, out number 2. And that'll bring up Aiden Ladd. Aiden Ladd up. 2 men on, still runners on the corners for Renner. 2 outs now. Peter's still battling out there. Tie game at 9 now. Bus with a good stop, keeping that right in front of him. Pitch was low, 1-0. Big shot. That is left center field. Zielinski trying to run it down, and he will as he falls to the turf. A great catch by Rhett Zielinski to keep this game tied. Long run for Rhett. But the manager brings it in, and we'll stay tied at 9 as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the Cubs with an opportunity to try to retake this lead. Great play by Rhett Zielinski in center field, left center field actually. For Renner, 1 hit, 2 walks, 2 errors. They bring 3 across and tie it at 9. They will have 7, 8, 9 hitters coming for the 9th inning, but before we do that, we get the Brookings Cubs, and they'll have the meat of the order come to the plate. Rhett Zielinski, who just made the play in left center, he's first up. Zielinski, Winghart, and Miles Reese, the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the lineup for the Cubs. And we shall see what our Cubs can do here. Tied at 9 now. For Renner, same pitchers out there. David Burkhart, who has been absolutely cruising since he came in relief of Cole Kramer. See what our Cubs can do now. Come up with a new plan. Burkhart has been working very quickly on the mound. That pace has been a problem for the Cubs hitters. But they are still battling. Our 8th inning tonight brought to us by Nick's Hamburgers, the legendary hamburger spot. And that was some lightning right there beyond right field. We got some storms around here? What's going on? Lightning not close enough, just lit up the sky to our to the south, but beyond right field. But Nick's Hamburgers, the legendary hamburger spot on Main Street in Brookings. Thank you to Nick's Hamburgers being a sponsor of what we do here on Saul's Media with the Sioux Valley Cossacks. And now this summer with the Brookings Cubs, as we'll see what the Cubs can do throughout their summertime. In a battle tonight, 9-9. Rhett Zielinski with a big blast, right field, but it was nicely played by the right fielder, and that'll be brought in. That is Cole Kramer out there, who had Zielinski played pretty well. So just a long fly ball to right center field. First out of the inning for the Cubs, and that'll bring the 3rd hitter in the lineup to the plate. This is Parker Winghart. First pitch is outside. Hot ground ball straight up the middle. That is a nice play by the shortstop. That is Maddox Baggs that makes that play. So a 6-3 putout, and it's 2 outs quickly again in this 8th inning. Miles Reese now, the cleanup hitter. And he's going to lift one to right field, and that'll be played by Kramer once again. It's a 1-2-3 inning in the 8th inning, and we'll move to the 9th. Tied at 9. Burkhart, with the pace that he works at on the mound, has stifled these Cubs hitters now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 innings strong as he came in the bottom of the second and got the last out of the second inning. But since then, he's been absolutely cruising. In 6 innings of work, he's given up 2 hits in 6 innings of work. The most batters that have come to the plate for the Cubs since he's come in there is 4, as he said 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 innings. So Burkhart being very effective for the Renner Monarchs on the hill. For the Cubs, relief pitcher Tucker Wookie on the mound now. As he comes in from his left field position, Arlen Peters did a good job of getting us to the 9th. Looks like Arlen Peters is going to go play first. And that'll send Koffel out to left field now. Top 9. Clear that out. There we go. You have my scoreboard right? 9th inning. Tied at 9 now. A new pitcher for the Brookings Cubs, Tucker Wookie, on the hill. We do have... Now, it's not lightning to the ground, and it is way beyond right field, but we do have some flashes of lightning to our south. I think the fans are having some fun with the home plate umpire, talking about the lightning that keeps flashing beyond the right field parameters, south of Brookings officially, but there is lightning out there. We're in the 9th inning, tied at 9. For the Renner Monarchs, they have the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming to the plate. So Maddox Baggs, who just made a nice play at shortstop to end the last inning, he'll come to the plate as the 7 hitter in the lineup. Cole Kramer and Nick Bartles all due up. As we start the 9th inning here, Tucker Wookie. He'll start with a strike. Outside in that, 1-1. Got some fans down in the front row. I can see them playing on their phones, and they're both bringing up radars. Just seeing what's out there. Slapped foul over the dugout of the Cubs. 1-2 now. To Maddox Baggs. Misses high, 2-2. Outside in that, full count now. Tucker Wookie battling with Maddox Baggs to start the 9th inning here. Gets a check swing foul straight into the netting. Count's going to stay full. It's the battle between the 2nd ranked in the media polls, the Renner Monarchs, and the 3rd ranked Brookings Cubs. Those rankings came out Tuesday morning, I believe. You can read a lot of the amateur baseball stories on 605sports.com. You can find him on Twitter. You can find him on Facebook. But it's 605 Sports that brings all the amateur baseball news. That pitch out of the zone, so it's going to be a leadoff walk to Maddox Baggs. And that'll bring the 8-hitter in the lineup for Renner, Cole Kramer, to the plate. Nobody out, one on. Tied at 9. Two of the best teams in Class A amateur baseball battling right to the finish here. Ground ball, right side. Peters picks that up, throws it right into the dirt. And Bonner can't hold on to it. He would have had to tag out Bags and was unable to do that. Peters does get the one out, though, by stepping on first. So it's 3 unassisted for Cole Kramer. That's 1 out. And Maddox Bags will be safely on second base. Let me update some things here. So Tucker Wookie will pitch now with 1 out. And he's going to hit the 9-hitter in the lineup. That's Nick Bartles. So 2 runners on with 1 out as Wookie goes a little bit too far inside. Bartles hit by pitch, and that is going to bring the top of the order for the Renner Monarchs. Corey Vasquez come to the plate. Now with 2 on and 1 out. Just outside on the first offering, 1-0. Too high. 2-0. Tucker working now. 2-0 on the count to Vasquez. 2 men on with 1 out. Still tied at 9. Vasquez will send that foul. 2-1. That foul ball goes over the people standing on the right field fence out there. Or the right field foul line fence, whatever you like to call it down there, beyond the Cubs dugout. Too high in that, 3-1. Blasted to right field. Down the line, and it'll stay fair. 1 man in. 2nd man coming around. Is that ball still in the right field corner? That is going to be a 2-run safe at the plate. Yeah, a 2-run triple. He slides underneath it. The hand got to the plate before the ball swept around. A 2-run triple for Corey Vasquez. Big shot here in the 9th inning. Wow. Bags comes around. Bartles scores. Slides right underneath the tag. And now Vasquez sitting on third base. It's an 11-9 lead here in the top of the 9th inning. Umpire still getting his helmet back on. They may be trying to call this. The lightning seems to be getting closer beyond the right field. That pitch up, 1-0. Tapped, right side. Wingart's going to throw that home and tag out Vasquez before he can score. So nice play there. Good heads-up baseball right there. That'll be a 3-2 putout for out number 2, and Palmer is going to reach on the fielder's choice. So 2 outs now here in the top of the 9th, but the Renner Monarchs have done the damage. The home plate umpire is still trying to get an answer from his field umpire about the lightning that's going on beyond the right field, south of Brookings as of yet. But those clouds are starting to light up closer than when this inning started. Swing and a miss to start here. There's a foul ball. 0-2 now. This is Troy Lanier. Lanier officially 0 for 3 on his night. He does have 2 walks. He has not scored yet tonight, but he's been on base twice. And there is his first hit, and he's going to hobble down to first base. That ball gets past the right fielder. That is going to allow Palmer to get all the way over to third. And the umpires are now going to have a conversation here about that lightning. It seems to be getting closer and closer. For Lanier, who limped his way down to first, I think he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner, and he is. Palmer over to third. Lanier with the single, and the Renner Monarchs are going to have runners on first and third with a 2-run lead here in the top of the ninth. The umpires have decided to play this out, apparently. Home plate umpire was just wondering his counterpart about the lightning that is out there. Not the safest thing for baseball players to be doing, but here we go. That pitch is going to miss too high, 1-0. Runners on the corners for the Renner Monarchs. They've scored 2 so far in this ninth inning. That is going to be popped foul straight over my head and over the press box. 1-1. Tucker Wookie still battling on the mound out there. 2 outs now, but 2 runners still on for Renner, and that ball is inside, 2-1. At the plate, this is David Burkhart. Single in his last at-bat. That's lifted straight into center field. That is Rhett Zielinski, who will call that off and bring in the third out. So the Cubs are going to be coming into the bottom of the ninth now, down 2 runs. For the Renner Monarchs, 1 hit. As bugs are starting to bother my light that I have here. 1 hit, a walk, a hit by pitch, a couple of fielders' choice, and they bring in 2 runs to take a 2-run lead, 11-9. As we move to the bottom of the ninth now, and the Cubs' opportunity to either tie it or win it. Coming up for the Cubs, the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the lineup. This would be Noah Buss, Justin Koffel, and Arlen Peters. Noah Buss on his night has a single, reached on an error, and then a ground out and a fly out. So he's 1 for 4 on his night. He has scored a run. Koffel, similar numbers. He reached on an error. He walked, 2 fly outs. He has scored a run. And we're going to start with a line drive to center field. So Noah Buss gets us started. Blasting the first pitch into center field. It's a leadoff single. Ground ball, shortstop, the 6-4-3 double play for Justin Koffel. That's a tough start there. 6-4-3 DP. That's 2 outs now. And the Cubs will be down there in the last out now. Arlen Peters comes to the plate. Now the first baseman. Burkhart still working incredibly fast on the mound. It has been very effective. The Lightning here tonight has gotten closer for sure. And that's a hot shot picked up by the third baseman, thrown across, a 1-bouncer to first base, and that's going to do it. So Renner with the come from behind victory tonight, 11-9. Let me do that and get these bugs away from stuff. As we finish up, Renner, 11 runs on 11 hits. They had 2 errors tonight for the Cubs. 9 runs on 9 hits. 4 errors for the Brookings Cubs tonight. And a tough finish, as it is a 5-3 putout to end it. They lose 11-9 in the come from behind victory by the Renner Monarchs. And overall, they move to 9-3 on the season. 3-1 in Sioux Empire League play, as they have a tough loss to the Renner Monarchs tonight, who come from behind and take it. Next up for our Brookings Cubs, they have the weekend off, which is fun enough for them. Let me do this and this and this. Let's get us here. Nope, that's not it. That one right there. So let's bring up a schedule here for the Brookings Cubs. Next game up is the 24th. Is that Monday? Let me bring a calendar up. 24th will be Tuesday evening as our Cubs go back on the road. So Tuesday evening. June 24th at 7:30 in Sioux Falls. They'll play the Sioux Falls Brewers. That's 24th. And then later on next week, the Baltic River Dogs coming to town. That's on June 29th. That's a 7:30 affair. So I think that is Sunday night. So they'll do Tuesday, Sunday night next week. Tuesday on the road to Sioux Falls to play the Brewers, and then the River Dogs come to town Sunday evening. Both those games at 7:30 next week. As the Cubs will continue through their season. They're halfway now, over halfway. A tough loss tonight to the Renner Monarchs. But we'll see what we can do next week. Enjoy your hot weekend. Mid-90s all weekend. So we'll see what happens with that. Enjoy your weekend for sure. Thank you to all of our sponsors tonight, especially Bankstar and Bell Brands, bringing us everything exclusively that we do on Saul's Media. Huge sponsors for me. Thank you very much for that. All the rest of the sponsors that we went through tonight, thank you for sponsoring the Brookings Cubs through the summertime. And we'll see what happens as we get into the fall with the Sioux Valley Cossacks once again. A lot of these sponsors also sponsoring the Cossacks sports season through their school year. We'll see what happens with that. But we're about halfway through the Cubs seasons, and it's a tough loss tonight, 11-9, as the Renner Monarchs come back with 8 runs in the final 3 innings to win it by 2 tonight. Cubs move to 9-3 and 3-1 in league play. And we'll see you Tuesday night live in Sioux Falls. A big matchup against the Sioux Falls Brewers. Another league game as well. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Thanks for following along. Follow the podcast. Subscribe here on YouTube. We'll keep you live all summer long right here on the Jason Salzman page on YouTube. This is another Saul's Media broadcast. I'll see you Tuesday night.